Okay, so today is the day to reunite Louise with her engine. Doing some catch-up stuff here. The studs and nuts were still in the original intake here, so I thought, you know what? I've got plenty of these, but I'm going to clean up the old ones and stick them in. Why not? Plus, what I had started was this little vacuum is for the little vacuum port. It's for the blend doors and whatever inside the car, you know, defrost, heat. Went in there, goes in right here. That's part of the reason that I chose this intake. Number one, it's lower to fit under the hood. Plus, you know, it's got what I need on it. Why do I do stuff like this? I don't know. I think it's cool. So, yeah, when I painted the engine, talk about what gets painted when. The PCV was on there. I've looked at a lot of pictures, you know, looked around. Why do you go to this much trouble? I don't know. I just, you know, it's my thing. I kind of dig, you know, at least putting her back, sort of. The coil. When I got this back from Joe, I realized I had painted it. Well, I'm sure it was rusty and nasty. But the coil distributor went in later, so the distributor hold down and the coil were just the galvanized. So I wire wheeled off the black I had on there, and then I just clear this stuff. And if it holds up, it holds up. What do I care, I guess, you know? And to prove that indeed it was put on later, there's the original green paint that went under the coil hold down right there. So, yeah. I had not bought a fan belt for this thing. I did yesterday. I got two. One's going back. Old versus new. This thing sits pretty proud. You know, I'm going to look at the CUDA. I've got one on there. And I don't like it, but I think I'm stuck with it. It does, you can't see in there because it's dark right here now. But yeah, I knew I didn't have a fan belt, so I thought I'd go and see what's what. Got plenty of adjustment here, but yeah, there's a fan. Once again, this was just left the aluminum, whatever it was. When I pulled this thing apart, I cleaned this up this summer, but it was flaking off. So I just wire wheeled it and hit it with clear. Most all the bolts on this engine are the factory ones. Some are missing. The fan here, that's just, they're just grade 5s or whatever were in there. I still got to modify the engine pulley because I have a different, or the crankshaft pulley. You can see I got a mark right there. Well, the holes on the factory balancer were a different, you know, they're not symmetrical all the way around. They got to have one offset. I think about 1970 they finally decided to do it right. So I was going to do that yesterday, but I forgot. And to be quite honest with you now, I'm not sure where that last bolt's laying. Can't imagine why I might lose something in this place anyway. So yeah, here we go. Where are you going? Here we go. Yep, here we go. We got it all up. I'm gonna go ahead and spin it. Oh, hell, I ran right into the hoist. Spin it and blow the crap off of the ground here. So probably should do that first, but I already shut the blower off. You know, so the wheels will roll. I did it the other day. All right.
Watch that ass in.
Here we go. You gotta pull, dude. Why don't you push?
Pull?
Well, you gotta push it. You know, we gotta rotate it. We're going this way, you know?
Oh, you want the
nose over here.
I know that.
There we go. Yeah, boy. That's why I hate these for my...
I was going the other way.
It is.
Alright, stop. Go back.
We're gonna have to put it on jack stands. We got room down there?
I want to take the nose over this way some.
Probably good.
Yeah, take this down to the hoist in there.
Yeah, that's good. Well, there we go. I was going to do this myself because honestly, it shouldn't be a big problem, but yeah, it was a bitch, honestly. The new throwout bearing was not the throwout bearing, but the input shaft bushing was snug. Pull it out, yeah, we fool with it. So there it is. Now we gotta chain it up and stab it in. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. I hate cars. All right, Mopar faithful. Sometimes I lose my faith. She's in. Oh, yeah, we've wrestled it. What is it? We got about an hour screwing with it. We ended up having just to loosen the rubber biscuit down there, and it settled up. And yeah, everything's tight. Trans cross member and all the motor mounts. Everything's tight. How's she look? I don't even want to look at it much. Yeah, those 70 manifolds, they clear fine, I hope. Yeah, fuel line there has got to get stowed, but you would have thought so. I mean, the B body didn't change a lot, you know. Oh yeah, lots of old room. Ah, starter. That's the original starter. I tested it, you know, she kicked out, worked. So I restored it by spray painting it with some black paint. I did a dumb thing. I got a mini starter for 96 Dodge Dakota, which I've done before, and didn't look at it. And then I pulled it out of the box a couple days ago. I'm like, what the hell is this? Wasn't right. I was about 6 weeks past the time I could return it. 50 bucks, I think I paid. I don't know. Yeah, I hate doing stupid stuff. I don't often because I plan, but yeah, anyway, so. Yeah, she's in. Now it's only everything else. Drop her on the ground in a minute and see what the stance looks like. Yep, haven't seen it that way for some time. Video. Let's push her back. Ready, Freddy? That's about it right there. All right. The cot. Okay, the next time this car leaves this garage, it's going to be from that engine. Woohoo! Are we happy? Yeah. Done for today. What do we figure? What is it? 11:30? 2.5 hours, but that's screwing with that transmission for 45 minutes too, so. All right, that's it. Can I get an amen? All right, here we go again. A couple seconds for you guys, a few days for me. We're in the home stretch here, folks, I believe. Yeah, so I got a few things to do. Gonna go over those real quick. Try to knock out this part of it quickly enough so that this video doesn't get long. So my belt dilemma, right? So I found another belt, okay, on the left. It's called a top cog. It's made by Dayco. It's and the other one I got was the same belt, except the cogs are underneath. That's the way they make them. So we're gonna do the eye doctor thing. Here's the problem was it was standing too proud, more than I wanted. And here's the first ones I got, and here's the Dayco. Better, worse, left, right. So I believe the Dayco, that's about $17, this one. But I'm gonna do it sits down in better, and I don't want, this would work, the one that rides high. It's gonna wear more on the edges, but quite honestly, these cars aren't daily drivers, so we're good. While I'm at it, I've got a crankshaft pulley that, if you can see right there, it's got a little, that's silver paint. The factory balancer I had is this one. I would have been happy to use it, except these are dampers, and there's rubber between these two pieces of cast iron, and the rubber on this was out 3/8 of an inch. And so this is what you don't want to happen. This is my son's Duster, original 70 balancer. So that's why these holes, Chrysler like to do this, these 6 holes are, there's one that's off, and that's gonna be this one here. So we just take and auger out the hole a little. I'm gonna do all the underneath stuff. So there's the drive shaft. I have to set the ride height once I get her back down, but first you can see the e-brake cable hanging there. That's got to go in. I thought I had the exhaust pipes. I took them to Joe. I imagine they got left over there. I swear to God I brought them back, but I don't. The ride height adjustment, torsion bar suspension, just like on your Abrams tanks. Okay, there's torsion bars right here, that pipe, and you twist, in case you don't know, there's a bolt down here that you twist, and you can't see it, it's a back up in there. All right, so that makes the torsion bar, or the lower control arm, go up and down. And you set the ride height. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the correct way, you measure from the top where the pivot is, and you down here to the ground when it's sitting on the ground, and then you compare both sides and get it where you want, and that's the real way to do it. That's the correct way. That's a real pain, which I'm gonna try to replicate here. But a lot of times, what a lot of guys, including me, do, we just measure down from the fender to the ground, get them close, and that's what we do. So moving over here, the underneath stuff, this is a Z-bar I cleaned up this summer. The Z-bar is what hooks up the shifter linkage. You know, this is what goes on to here, I think it is. Don't beat me up, I'm just winging it here. And then, yeah, that's the side. And it goes into the shift fork, the round side of the shift fork. Something like this setup here. If you guys haven't seen this before, I picked up a few of these. This was the aftermarket deal that Chrysler put out to replace this kind of thing, which normally sat against a shift fork. Works really good, doesn't wear out. The shifter's got to go in. You adjust the shifter. Normally, I would take this one right here, you put it through all 3 shifters, and then you hook them all up to the transmission. Well, naturally, the reverse shifter has got a smaller hole. So I guess I'm gonna bolt this in and then go ahead and do the reverse, and I'll stick the bigger hex key in and do the other 2. That's about it for right now, I think. It's just a lot of stuff to do at once. I'm gonna go ahead and try to take care of it and then show you when I'm done. One of the things, I gotta pump the tranny up with fluid. Buy this stuff. It's a GL4. Big debate about the synchros, the yellow metal and the tranny not playing well with GL5, the stuff you can buy off the shelf. I read an article said, you know, it's got to get super hot, and then you're going to have a problem. We're talking 500 degrees. This is the camper shell stuff. I'm going to wrap it around this guy, at least around the back side. You know, keep it from wearing too much. You don't want to wear a hole in your oil filter. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So here we go. Yep, that's happiness for me right now. Those are bags of old bolts of stuff that I put back on the car. Yes, so I'm getting a little bit done. All this has to go back on. Shouldn't take long. So the drive shaft's in, the shifter linkage is in, ride height set. I may have to go back and raise it. But 245/60s on there, and they may hit. I don't know. But the CUDA's got the same wheel, so I'm going to stick them on there and try out. Still got to do all this, get the rad in. I always put a spring, you know, in the lower rad hose. I get the, Mustangs Unlimited. Good luck trying to find them. I want to use this one for the lower because it's supposed to clear the oil filter, except it's bigger. Shifter's in. Ta-da. There it is. I'm not putting the console in. I'll end up putting in one bucket seat, the driver's seat, and the console. So yeah, everything else is going in. And belt sits in like you'd hope. Fans on. Fix the lower bolt problem. And yeah, I just everything else. Well, I got the hood on. My boys came over yesterday and said, let's get that hood on. Okay, I think she's getting close. She's plumbed. Electrical's hooked up. Wires are done. You remember I had issues. I was concerned about my radiator. It, of course, is just fine. Plenty of room. Got a shroud on there, factory shroud. Got that when I bought the rad. All my wiring's nice and sano, to quote a 80s Hot Rod magazine. Here's my little clips. There's one, there's one. Took about 4 or 5 days for the paint to dry. Didn't like the plastic tip, I don't think. Ground wire for the tack. Goes to the battery. That's the oil pressure, the electric. Another wire for my aftermarket tack. Everything goes into there. Fuel line. Horns. I had to reclock the horns. I put them back on exactly as they came, but the wire was sticking straight up in the air. So I thought that's no good. They're loud as hell. What else? I fought these just for optics, right? Make it look factory. And the bottom, they just get, you know, screw clamps. Yeah. I had to put that rubber sleeve on the bottom hose down there because that's like 1 3/4. My rad is 1.5 inches, so I wish I had one here that I could throw out for you guys to see, but if I had prepared before I started the video, I'd do that. This is the backup lights. They work. I gotta stow them somewhere, I see now. I do have a washer. It'll go in later. And I think everything's good. There's fuel through the line. Dumped a gallon or 2 in there. About ready for a first start, I think, here. Now, I did crank it last night. The boys were here. I was gonna wait and do this in front of everybody, but I thought, oh hell, let's see what happens. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's a big thing that sucks. So I got my factory air cleaner sitting there. And of course, this is not the factory carb. Check this out. How cool is that? Yeah, not cool at all. I really wanted to use that restrictive 10-inch air cleaner too. And since I choked it down with exhaust manifolds, I'm not gonna cut that, even try to modify this. I'm not gonna be that guy that destroys something and it doesn't work anyway. There are no bases. I may end up just having to use a regular air cleaner. I don't know. Get something semi-factory ugly looking that's black and put it on there. There's adapters, but they're all for taking a small carb to a bigger air cleaner like this thing requires. So yeah, but yeah, it's all coming together. Okay, I'm a little nervous, ain't gonna lie. Got her jacked up so she doesn't take off for the races. Got a remote starter. Everything's hooked up. Got gas to the carb. I cranked her through for a while. I fully expect flame. I don't have a choke. I can hold it shut. I'm not gonna let it run very long. There's no antifreeze in it, so not that that really matters now. Yeah, let's see what happens. Ready? Won't let her go long, I don't think. That's a good sign. Starts, runs, sounds semi-wicked. All right. Another sigh of relief. Yep. Cool. So the next is, let me get you guys out of this thing so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah. The next thing is I'm gonna have to decide, this is my heater, right? You know, the plugs for the heater core. So I fill up this with water and run it now without the lines hooked up to the heater core. I'm gonna want to hook it up. So I take them out, they're gonna squirt water out. So I'm either gonna stick my nipples in, pipe nipples in, and put a rubber boot on there and run it like that. That way I can just cut my heater core lines and just pull the caps, shove it on there with a minimum amount of loss versus draining the whole damn radiator. Probably the wise thing to do. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Hell, I'm gonna start it again. I wanna see if the tag and all that other fun stuff I got in there works. All right, guys, I guess we're gonna call this one good. Now it's exhaust, wheels and tires, and go for a ride. It's 12 degrees outside, salt and snow everywhere, so that ain't gonna happen for a while. Cool. Blood pressure's coming down. Thanks for watching.